Hi everyone, it's a Super Soul Sunday. This seems like a good topic. I'm going to talk a little bit about how some organized religions and religious groups lead to mental health problems. Now this is not really news to a lot of you guys, I know. But now there is a label and a name for this, and it's called religious trauma syndrome. Another syndrome. But, you know, even though it's important, it is important that we have labels for some things sometimes, because that means we're acknowledging this stuff. Now, this condition, it's been around for ages, right? But it's basically being recognized more and more people are leaving organized religions. And some of them are traumatized. They're living with tremendous fear and anxiety, things like depression, suicide. They have a lot of trouble reintegrating into their life and society and the world after they leave. Now, this is not all religions. It's not all religious groups, obviously. But religious trauma syndrome is a specific set of symptoms and characteristics that are connected with certain authoritarian and controlling religious groups and institutions. It might seem similar to PTSD, but it's different, or some other trauma or abuse, but it's different because it's the result of a certain type of religious indoctrination. You know, these are the religions and religious groups that are highly controlling, the ones that prevent people from thinking for themselves and trusting their own feelings. In these groups, there's a judgment, there's tremendous judgment of self and others. And so that basically causes people to become alienated from themselves, and alienated from one another, and alienated from our world or their society. So with these types of fundamental and authoritarian religions or groups, what they're actually doing is they're causing separation, which is the opposite of the message that most of them claim to be teaching, preaching, and practicing, right? You know, take example, the easiest one of Jesus's message was love and unity, pure and simple. But that's not what most of the fundamental and authoritarian religions are teaching, because they can't control people with that. So these types of religious groups, this is important. They demand conformity and obedience. They demand conformity and obedience. And what that does is it creates a lot of fear and anxiety in people, not love and growth. That's an important point. For example, if we take Catholicism or in certain sects of Christianity, or most, they're telling people constantly that they're weak and dependent. They're weak and dependent. They're sinners, quote unquote. So people internalize the message. They internalize that message. And there's a lot of catchphrases like trust and obey, or lean not unto your own understanding, and so many more. So these people can learn what's called learned helplessness. They can suffer with learned helplessness. And after some time of being indoctrinated, immersed in that type of religion or religious group, the person usually winds up with very little decision-making ability. They'll say things like, it's the will of God, or God is in control, not me, or, I'm just waiting on God to show me the way, to make this decision, to reveal something to me, to give me a message. and so on, right? But that kind of thought process and belief is actually creating and causing a great deal of fear and anxiety, as I said. I mean, it's some people say that they don't even know what to do when they wake up in the morning. You know, they wait for a sign, they wait for some kind of a message from God before they can do anything. So it's very limiting and restrictive. It's not liberating. So because these types of religions and religious groups institutionalize philosophies and so on, they deal in conformity. They are highly controlling. And I'm sure you can think of some that you know of that are that way. Their goal is to keep their church members or group members sheltered and dependent, rather than encouraging and teaching them to have a healthy sense of self as an individual and how to function well in their life and society and how to make their own decisions. The church and group members are sometimes pressured and forced to believe and behave as the group does, oftentimes, even subconsciously. And, you know, they better watch out if they don't, right? The individuals who choose to leave the religion or the religious group are basically shunned, even in subtle ways. And we're not talking about just the Amish here. Most of them, that's how it is. If they leave, they're going to lose their friends, and they know this. They're going to lose their friends. They're going to lose the support system that they know and maybe that they've always known since childhood. They're going to lose family members who are still in the group. And some worse. Some are going to lose their country or their life in extreme cases. And some will end up taking their own lives. There's tremendous feelings of anger, loneliness, there's a sense of betrayal, there's deep grief. And even if this is on a subconscious level, it's causing this intense fear and anxiety. So there's a doctor, Dr. Marlene Winell, Winell. She, I believe she's a psychologist. I'm not 100% sure on that, but she's written a book called Leaving the Fold. And she also has a website that I'll talk about in a second. And she says that leaving a religion after years of immersion can cause a complete upheaval of a person's construction of reality, including the self, other people, life, and the future. A complete upheaval of a person's construction of reality, including the self, other people, life, and the future. And it can cause sheer terror in the person if they leave. Suicidal ideation is not uncommon. So Dr. Winell has a blog on her website. It's called Journey Free, www.journeyfree.org. She's got some videos, some testimonials, and her contact information. If you or anyone you know might be interested in this or might need some help with this, or somebody you know might, they may not be talking about it. On that website, something I found interesting, that she has a blog. She also has, there's a chart of childhood religious indoctrination and the subsequent developmental delays. So, in closing, on the other hand, the religious groups or religions that teach and promote self-knowledge and growth would be considered healthy groups compared to the others that I've been speaking about. And some of the aspects of these groups are that group members are going to feel empowered. They're going to feel inspired. They're going to be inspired. As they may practice social outreach and service. But the big ones are that they respect differences. Okay? And there's a social support. And another big one is there's an open exchange of ideas. That's allowed. That's encouraged. That's a normal part of the group. So those are healthy religious groups. And of course there's more traits, and there have been books written about that as well. So I'm going to post the Journey Free website link below this video, and Dr. Marlene Winell's phone number and email. And Dr. Winell says, I believe that recovery is not only possible but extremely important for both individuals and our society. And that's from her website. And she's talking about recovery from what she calls harmful religion. So you might want to check it out, as I said. So until next time, take good care of yourself and others. Talk to you soon.